because I was just like, there was a sign in the parking lot that said $10 for parking, so I never pay for parking when I go to these places. So I was like, let me talk to the valet guys and just let them know we're gonna be here for like 20 minutes. So they just immediately ushered me in, and then a manager ushered me in to the dressing room, and I had gone in by myself, and I didn't even have our girls with us. And then he introduced me to the house mom and just kind of stuck me in this back room with them. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't leave because there's so much favor right now. If I walk out, they're going to think I'm done. So anyway, they ended up coming, but it was just like immediate open door. And so the house mom was just taken aback, like, gifts for sale, gifts, like what's your angle here? And when I was like, no, it's just for you because you're so loved and you're worth getting something for nothing in return. And I was like, when's the last time that's happened to you? And she's like, you're right. Like, I don't think it's ever happened in my life, you know? And so just immediately we're handing these gifts to the women, and they're so overjoyed, like very, very blessed, and just kept hugging us and thanking us. So I started talking, like the house mom was just so intrigued, like what are you doing here? And I was telling her about my ministry back in Dallas, and I didn't call it ministry, but just like what we do and how we support women. And she was just like, you're like the sweetest, kindest, like most selfless person I've ever met. And it's, of course, like we know it's Jesus in us that's represented when we do this stuff. And that's what's so significant about doing it, is like she's actually getting to experience in a tangible way the kindness and generosity of Jesus. And so that so impacted her. She was just like, I just can't believe you guys are so nice. And so we really connected. And then I started talking to another girl. She's from Ecuador. Long story short, she had grown up in the church, played the guitar for her worship band, and had just gotten hurt. She saw COVID happen and got bitter, and then a guy used and abused her, and she's just like, for 3 years I've shunned God. I have not talked to him one time. But like a couple of weeks ago, I had a breakdown at work, and I'm crying for like 2 hours to my coworker and the house mom, and she was sitting there like, yeah, as a witness to all of this. And she was just saying, like, I haven't talked to God for so long. And the guy, I guess he was like a bartender or valet guy or something, but he was just like, I'm going to give you 1 week to start talking to God again. And so I guess that lit a fire under her. So she started praying again. And then I guess her aunt moved in with her. She's a praying Catholic woman. And she's been like, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. God's going to find you. And so this is like all culminating in her life, like leading up to this moment. And I was like, girl, he's pursuing you and you're not going to get away from it. And she was like, I know. So she's just like, I just feel like my heart is still so hardened. You know, where was God when bad things happen? So of course, like, that's just such an opportunity to get to share how he is the God that never leaves us or forsakes us. And so they were just so touched. We got to pray with them. And I think they have a story to tell that's also a miracle. But I just think you guys have to keep going, because this club was so open and these girls are so desperate. Ecuador, we have girls from Cuba, the Ukraine. They're all girls that are not connected here, you know, to community, and they're like just so hungry, and they'll speak to that. They're so hungry for community and for people that are just showing them, like, one, you're not alone, you're worth getting these things for nothing in return, and we're here to have your back. I'll just lead with this. Teresa prophesied before we left that it didn't matter that there was a language barrier, because they were going to meet some Ukrainians or Russians in the club. So that's exactly what happened, right?
Yes.